Alright, welcome back. Now, if I sound a little bit different today, a little bit nasally, was that the right word? I don't know what happened. I basically just started sneezing and coughing all of a sudden. Hopefully that's not going to be noticeable in this video, but today I'll be flying a new different ship. Now, I did have plans for Brutix and for a Drake. I have a Drake, I'll probably show that ship at a different time, but I wanted to fly the Brutix. And I just realized something, which you will see in a moment. I have reset my skills for Raelions, and when I noticed that, it was already too late. I already bought the ship, so currently this ship has no fit. And honestly, I still don't really know how to build the Brutix. I thought to go full DPS on this thing, because after all, it's Raelions, and I do have a thermal circulation implant for this ship, but at the same time, I also been thinking about a active armor tank build, because the Brutix should have a very decent bonus on armor repairs. So don't really know. I don't really know which build I will go to, and here you can take a look. Yeah, I am completely missing the Raelion skills. Thankfully, I'm currently attempting to level them up. Will not take a while, but that's the annoying part. I forgot that I did reset them. Why did I reset the Raelions, you might be wondering? Well, I needed the skill points for something else. So this ship is currently naked, but I do want to fly it, and I will be flying it. Primarily, we'll be using the standard battlecruisers versus other standard battlecruisers and maybe standard battleships. Overall, the plan is to use the less serious ships for less serious targets. After all, I don't want to drop a Stratius on a Praxis Trader, I don't want to drop a Stratius on a Prophecy. I want to do, I want to do it the old school classic way that I love to do. Anyway, today I'll be flying a bubble ship. I know it's probably snowing in hell, and demons in hell are having a snowball party right now, because me in a bubble ship, that is the sign of the end times, it seems. But yeah, I actually did play around with the Fiend a little bit. I do love this ship. I want to improve it. I will improve it. I have a lot of fun with it. It's a surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, a very good ship. So, we have a Rattlesnake. Now I'm giving chase. I have an active tank build, dual adaptives, triple adaptives actually, and a large booster. Sometimes you will see in the next video I'll have a damage control, and sometimes I actually have a reactive hardener, depending on the target, depending on the ship actually. The build on this ship is hopefully flexible, but the bubble stays, and I kind of want to make the ship tankier. I want to make the repairs better, I want to make the speed better. Overall, I really want this thing to, in general, be much better than it is. So, there is the Rattlesnake. Obviously, I am in a cruiser. Cruisers are faster than battleships in most cases, so I'm able to chase. Now, I actually thought to open bubble right here in this moment, but I wasn't really sure. If I would catch the Rattlesnake. If you enter warp, if the ship enters warp before you click on the bubble, the ship will basically escape. So. And then you will most likely miss the target. So I decided to wait and see if they warp. The Rattlesnake did warp. I followed. I know where they're going. So in this case, I have the advantage because I'm hopefully faster. I'll jump through the gate, and I'll burn to the gate and open ball, and the Rattlesnake should be caught. Maybe I could have caught the ship back on the first gate, but I just did not want to risk it to be a late bubble and to miss the target. We missed a lot of ships that way, so playing it safe. Okay, there was the Rattlesnake, and let's see if they... Yeah, I'm going in first, and the Rattlesnake is also jumping in. So now the trick is to quickly run back to the gate with the bubble up, and then attempt to catch and hold the Rattlesnake and hopefully destroy it. So, everything is on, bubble active, going to approach gate to 0. Yeah, I'll turn on the remaining 2 adaptives, don't worry about that. I have an issue with my modules just not responding to my inputs. I click on a module and that happens. There, I turn on the remaining 2 adaptives, and now combat in progress. The Rattlesnake has been bubbled successfully. I'll orbit at my optimal range. The thing with the bubble, with the Fiend, in this case, I can safely orbit outside of scrambler and web distance on most ships because after all, the bubble keeps the ship from moving. So I'm not really too worried about that. I can just orbit at my optimal distance, optimal range, and let's see what happens. So the Rattlesnake is, well, still asleep, it seems. I can tell that based on the amount of damage that I'm doing. It seems that the Rattlesnake does have a lot of and now I think they are starting to turn on the adaptives. So things are getting things will definitely get tricky from this point on. I am fairly tanky. I think I have on average like 88% resistance on this ship, so fairly tanky ship. I'm not really worried about bombard. I'm not really worried about all of these things because of high resistance and a lot of shield hit points as well as a good booster and a very good speed tank. After all, I'm using an afterburner, which means I can be quite speedy. And Fiend with an afterburner, I mean, Sansha ships have bonus on afterburners, so having them speedy isn't a big deal. Now they actually have sentry drones, which means I am not going to be able to take any damage from the sentries, so that's not a big problem. However, I'm a little bit worried about the Tempest. I think the Tempest might be in trouble. The pulsars are definitely, they can be very nasty, even at close distance. If the Tempest isn't moving, we might lose a ship here. I didn't click the, oh well, yeah, okay.
We're under attack.
Okay then, let me see what I will do next. Well, I'll continue orbiting, full speed. I don't think I can break the tank on the Rattlesnake, or I could break the tank if the battle does last a while, because I'm not taking much damage. I can just safely orbit and wait for the shield booster to destroy the Rattlesnake capacitor. They also have a Nosferatu, but that Nosferatu isn't really going to be a threat for me in this case. I'm still shooting at the pulsar, even though honestly at this moment, now when I think about it, I should have just went for the ship. The pulsars wouldn't really do much damage to me, but yeah, I guess I wanted to finish off the drone. Didn't want to leave the pulsar just at low hit points. Now the Rattlesnake is down to 1 sentry, pretty much halving the incoming damage, potential damage. But he's slowly boosting up the shield, and I'm still orbiting. I'm thinking, what's the next smart move going to be? The Rattlesnake has two options. The Rattlesnake can maintain the combat, can maintain fighting and risk me getting reinforcement, or the Rattlesnake can decide to return back to the gate and jump. I would say jumping back would be the smart thing to do, because I have a bubble on, I have a bubble up, and technically, if I want to prevent the Rattlesnake from warping, bubble has to be up. If I want to prevent the Rattlesnake from jumping, I have to turn roll. So this is kind of a little chess game here. We will see what the Rattlesnake will do as the next move. Now I have two options basically. For now, I can keep the bubble up. We are fighting basically. Both of our ships have timers, so both of us can't really jump anywhere. And even if you want to jump through the gate, we can't because of the weapon timer. If the Rattlesnake decides to stop firing, I will probably turn out the bubble, and then I will monitor to see what the Rattlesnake will do. Now, this is where things can be tricky, because one little mistake on my end and the Rattlesnake will escape. At the other end, if the Rattlesnake makes a mistake, if they're too fast or too rash in what they're doing, I can keep following them and I can keep bubbling, and then hopefully I get more reinforcements to destroy the battleship. Now, I would say the Rattlesnake is effectively tanking me right now. And yes, I have no nanocore, I have no implant for this thing. I'm flying old school as I usually do. Do I really need a nanocore? No. Do I really need an implant? No. I think this thing is working the way it should be already, so I'm not really, I don't mind the low DPS, I don't mind the low nanocore, just pure ship and pure I'm just going to rely on the ship itself, not on magic tricks. So Still maintaining orbits, we are still exchanging fire. Rattlesnake's firing with missiles and lasers at me, I'm firing with lasers. However, the difference is I'm taking practically zero damage because of speed tank. The Rattlesnake though is taking some damage, and in this case I'm actually in the better position because I'm a faster ship, faster little cruiser, so I'm not really worried about the missiles or anything coming from the Rattlesnake. Even Bombard isn't really worrying me with this thing. I also have a defense mode, which further would enhance my overall resistance, which is a very nice thing to have. Fiend does have a defense mode, which makes the tank even better, kind of a extended damage control in some cases, but extra 20% resistance is always going to be beneficial. So over, I think 91-92% resistance with the defense mode on the ship currently. So the Rattlesnake stopped firing at me. I stopped firing at Rattlesnake as well, and I'm also watching to see if they're approaching the gate. Oh, and they jumped. Okay, that means we will be following and we will be jumping in. Now the good thing is, even if they decide to run around, I'm still going to be able to catch them. There is no station around, and that's a fairly large system at the other end, and I'm still a cruiser, I'm still faster, so I will give chase, I will keep following the Rattlesnake, and let's see what they do next. Where they go next. There they are. Now I'm not going to open bubble immediately, I'm just going to see where they're going next, and it looks like they're approaching back to the gate. Okay, so that was, I would say, the smarter thing for the Rattlesnake to do. Oh, actually no, they warped. Alright, well, let's give chase. Next gate. I am in a cruiser, so my warp will be faster, and in general my
Warp
overall
drive active.
velocity and everything else will be faster, so we're chasing. They returned to the gate, and then they went back to the previous gate, which could potentially be a mistake on the Rattlesnake's part, because I can just follow deeper into null and I can keep bubbling them. At the other side, at the other end, you know, could be a smart thing, depending on how you look at it, depending on the idea, I guess. That's what matters the most. Now, I did cancel the jump because I didn't really, I don't really know if they will follow with the jump. If they jump through, I'll just follow them, and oh, they jump through, okay, let's follow. Now, I can catch them effectively on the other end of the gate, and I might actually do that. We will see, depending on what the Rattlesnake does next. If I see them aligning to the station or to the other gate, I'll just bubble. And if I see them going back to the gate, I'll turn up bubble. So, a little bit, that's kind of a little game that we're playing right now. They're going to the other gate, bubble up, and warp prevented. So, let's orbit and let's open fire. Okay, so they're bubbled at this side of the gate. Their modules are off. Okay. For now, they didn't turn on the adaptives and reactive hardener. What are they doing? Okay, they are burning back to the gate. Alrighty then, bubble off, Nosferatu off, and let me go back to the gate as well.
We're under attack.
Oh, actually no, they opened fire. Alright. But should I actually, let's just keep bubble up for now. They have timer, so once they stop firing again, I will drop bubble and I'll stop firing, so that our timers are pretty close, so I can also jump through the gate if I have to. So far, we are exchanging fire again. It's a Rattlesnake. They obviously have good shields, and especially reactive is especially good against weapons with dual damage types. In this case, EM and thermal in my case. So yeah, I would say that Rattlesnake has some very good defenses against lasers. I also have some good defenses against drones and everything else, so we're kind of matched in that aspect. Okay, let's see. They're still firing and missing. Now they're using a sniper guard. Okay. I'm taking a little damage from the missiles. I think they're using the large missiles, although I'm not entirely sure. We will see later, hopefully. And we have a red coming in, alright. Hidden name, it's interesting. Not really sure who that could be, but I will maintain firing for now until the Rattlesnake stops firing at me, then that's where I will also stop firing. Basically, I'll attempt to match the Rattlesnake's timer so I can jump through and keep the bubble on the Rattlesnake, even at the other end of the gate. So pretty much this Rattlesnake is potentially in a lot of trouble, because I'm not going to let the Rattlesnake go, only if I mess up. And we will see more on that a little bit later. Things definitely will be a bit dynamic today. Well, at least, yeah, it will be dynamic, I guess. Okay, bubble off, everything is going to be off. The Rattlesnake stopped firing and bubble is disabled. They will attempt to jump through. Yeah, they're definitely getting close. They'll also do the same thing. I'll also do the same thing. I have a whole system of room. Actually, no, they might actually force me to use bubble, and then they might jump through the gate, and that's where things could potentially be problematic. So, okay, bubble up again, and yeah, they jumped. So potentially losing the Rattlesnake here. Didn't really have much option. They could have went to the gate or to the station, and that would be pretty unfavorable. Could have went to the other gate. I could have followed to the other gate. We could have continued following it, but maybe a mistake on my part. Maybe I should have just let them warp and then catch them on the other side of the gate. But don't worry. I actually thought that the day was about to be ruined here, because there was already some good 15 minutes of good chasing. I'm waiting out the weapon timer, and then I will keep following. This is where things get interesting, because at first, originally, I thought that the Rattlesnake already escaped. I thought that I missed the target. As you about to see, when I jump in, you will see that the ship is still in system. Now, I actually thought, okay, they have enough time to go to the other gate, go to the next null system, and then basically just go exit in low sec. I thought that they will do that, but something different happened here. Now, I immediately went and gave chase. I immediately went and warped. I know that the Rattlesnake, this particular Rattlesnake, doesn't have a very low warp speed, but what I initially thought was them being in the middle of warp. Turns out they actually did log out in space. They made a bookmark mid-warp, they warped to the bookmark in mid-warp, and then they decided to wait out and safely log out there. That's what pretty much happened, because I'm already closing in on the gate. In this case, if the Rattlesnake jumped, if I jump now, I'm catching them. There's no way. The Rattlesnake is just that slow. I can jump, even if I'm behind couple seconds, I can jump and still catch them. But I jumped and system was empty. Now that means two things. The Rattlesnake could have went to a different gate, but the scanner did show something different. The scanner showed the line of the signal basically came pretty much from the direction of this gate right here. And then I thought to myself, okay, they have had to have logged out in space. There's no other way. So I jumped back and I'm about to open a scan. I did have a signal basically in the middle. That was the Rattlesnake. They did warp there, and they basically decided to log out there. Now I have a signal here, and I will probably attempt to go, and if the game allows me to actually go there, there's a signal mid-warp, pretty much 9 AU from the gate. Now could be that they logged out on gate right here, and that's also a possibility, but since the yellow timer is over, the ship disappeared in space, so the Rattlesnake is technically vanished. And here I said to myself, okay, yeah, I was a little bit angry. I was definitely a bit angry at myself for kind of maybe misjudging the situation, or maybe it was actually a smart call, because from what I know, could have warped to the station, and basically, you know, if they dock, that's it. You can't really do anything about that. But well, just when I thought that it was over, just when I thought that they escaped, something funny happened. Now I already have the crew on position. Thankfully, they did have enough time to arrive on time. So now we have quite a few ships here ready. If the Rattlesnake does return, we will be separated all over in different systems. We know the name of the pilot of the Rattlesnake, so if they pop up, we will have ships on every single gate there is, and it's not a big deal to just spread a couple ships and see where they go and have a tackle ship, and then I can just come in and do the bubble, because after all that's my job. My job is to bubble things, and my job is to tackle things. Bubble is the best tackle, so if the Rattlesnake is spotted, we can quickly go and catch them, and thankfully the Rattlesnake got spotted. Now they did jump back to this system, and I was already in warp, and there they are. I arrived just on time. Now the thing is, I already immediately went for the bubble because, again, with this particular Rattlesnake, we know that it has a very slow warp speed, very slow warp acceleration, so I had enough time to bubble them and catch them. They have been caught, they have been bubbled, there is no warping now. We have a bunch of ships all over the place on both sides of the gate, so the chances of the Rattlesnake jumping back in and playing the gate games is now... It's still possible to see that, you know, but I would say it's not as likely that they will escape now as it was likely before. Well, they are burning back to the gate. That's the next thing. Actually, no, they have open fire. All right, they have open fire. They have timer. They don't have timer anymore. They stopped firing actually. And we will spread our forces on both sides of the gate. We can follow. We have fast ships for following. Not a big deal. We can follow if they decide to warp around. We can follow. The chances for the Rattlesnake escaping now are very slim and very little. Just have to play it properly now. Have to be careful with what I'm doing. Must not let the bubble be too far behind. Now we have the ship tackled, and we are doing some, well, I mean, we have a bunch of cruisers and a bomber, and we have a Rattlesnake as well. Okay. Now bubble is off because I will be prepared. I will have to go and jump in the next system, because I feel like the Rattlesnake will attempt to jump gate, and that's what they will do. That's probably the only thing they can do right now. I'm not going to aggro, I'm going to wait, because I must not aggro. One aggro and we might lose them if they jump through. I'm just going to be ready for the gate jump. They're close to jumping though. I will be ready to jump to follow. I have no timers. Any moment now they will probably jump. There we go. Okay, let's follow, jump through. Going to bubble both gates. There is no running now. Chances for the Rattlesnake escaping are close to zero. Only if I mess up, that's the only possibility. Okay, burning back to the gate. Bubble already going to be launched up. And let's aggro the Rattlesnake. Their only way back is through the gate, where we have like 5 ships waiting for them. So, yeah, no way to go now. The gate games are not going to work. Okay, we see that they're returning, burning back to the gate. We have ships on both sides, already with a bunch of disruptors, scramblers and all stuff that can tackle. We have enough points to hold them, I believe, so chances for them warping off are close to zero currently. Only if we mess up basically, but that's also not that likely to happen. I'm turning off the bubble. Let's see what they're doing. They're burning back to the gate. I'm also going to go back to the gate and be ready to go in. They are boosting back the shield. I'm going to orbit the gate, approach the gate to 0. And they also have the new nanocore. That's good to see. My timer almost over. They are going to jump. Okay, couple more seconds and I am going to follow with the jump. By the time, there we go. Okay, let's go. And where are they? There's the Rattlesnake approaching. Bubble immediately up. And I'm going to go for a ram now. Now they must not burn back to the gate. This is pretty much the moment where I think it's game over for the Rattlesnake. Going in for the ram. Full speed, full afterburner speed. They'll attempt to burn back, but nope, not today. I could have rammed before. I could have done that, but now it's actually the safer thing to do. Because the chances of him messing up the ram is close to zero. And now we'll play the ramming game. They're not going to be able to go anywhere now. Second ramming attempt. Full speed. Low shield on the Rattlesnake. They are now to armor, and once the shield on a Gurista pirate ship goes down, armor and hull is pretty much paper. Well, that was a pretty fun little chase. It was a 25-minute chase. I actually enjoyed this a lot. Doesn't have to be 45 level implant, magic nanocore, you know, stuff like that to be fun. Just a little bit of smart play and just a little bit of ship knowledge, I would say, is enough to just have a blast in this game. It was actually really fun. 3.4 billion, not bad. They did have a reactive and dual adaptive, plus natural resistance. Yeah, felt tanky for a lasers at least. A very good job on the whole crew. It was a very well done teamwork, and I pretty much enjoyed this a lot from start to finish. It was a good chase. Don't worry, there will be more Fiend action. Next one is going to be also pretty interesting, I would say. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe, play safe. As always, I'll see you next time.